Good evening. Welcome. Thank you for logging on and joining us for Voices from the Streets. We really appreciate you spending some time with us tonight. We've got some pretty amazing people on our panel who I'll introduce you to in a moment. But this is Voices from the Streets, a chance to not listen to me, but to listen to from some amazing people who are here who will help hopefully help us gain a better understanding of what it means to share a little bit of this planet together. And I'm really looking forward to hearing, to giving you a chance to hearing, and me too, from hearing from their wisdom. So before I introduce you, let me acknowledge that we are gathering here and broadcasting to you from the lands of the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, and we pay respects to their elders past and present. Also pay respects to any other Aboriginal people who may be tuning in tonight or who may be watching this broadcast at a subsequent date. If you are on Facebook, please feel free to enter in the name of the traditional lands that you're on. Also, feel free during the evening, anytime, we can't hear it, we can only read it, to interrupt us with a question. So please feel free to write questions up, and after we've heard from the panel and I've introduced them and we've got to know them a little bit, we'll be asking them questions. Happy to take some of the questions that you have from home as well. So please feel free to type that question in at any time. I'm John, how are you going? I'm the CEO and pastor of the Wayside Chapel, and it's my honour to introduce to you Karen, Nathan and Rob. So we'll start with Karen because you're the closest to me. Tell us a bit about who you are, and also I was going to ask you tell us what's your favourite dessert as well.
Okay, so I'm Karen, I'm 48, and my favourite dessert is gulab jamun.
Ooh. That's a good one.
Yes.
That's one from my country. Nathan.
I'm Nathan, I'm 35, I live on Darking Land on the Central Coast, but I'm also a Darug proud Aboriginal man. My favourite dessert is chocolate brownies.
My name's Robin Orbit. I'm 46 years of age. I live in Bondi. Yeah.
Where's your favourite football team?
Yeah.
Parramatta.
Bravo.
Excellent. So, tell us a bit about, and anyone can answer this in any order, about when you first came to Wayside, and how did you hear about Wayside first?
I'll take this one because it's a bit funny. So, the first time I ever come to Wayside, I'd been homeless for a few weeks and I really needed to get a back massage. But it's King's Cross. And where do you get a back massage in King's Cross without a happy ending, right?
Well, you can get a lot of them, so.
So I was sort of wondering, I don't know what to do, and one of the girls told me that Bill Suma at Wayside does massage, and that's how I came up here to begin with.
Excellent.
I don't remember exactly when, but I obviously ended up here, and then I ended up in Mob Space, which is Aboriginal Cultural Learning Centre, which is a great introduction to Wayside. For me, that became a safe environment with mob. Not directly mob for me doesn't have to necessarily be the people in the community and where your Aboriginal tribe's from it. And I've got many family here in Mob Space that are from different tribes. And then from there, I've been here, I've stayed here, I've started studying. I also have my own personal life, but I'm heavily actively involved in Mob Space downstairs, committee, making choices and making Mob Space, the Aboriginal Cultural Learning Centre, something that I can be ownership of and be a part of and change and make a really good space for our mob that do use the centre. So that's how I ended up in Wayside. I'm still here and I'll probably be here for many years to come, I'm sure. Yeah, but that's also an honour and respect that there's a place that I can actually be accepted and do that sort of stuff. Like, that's pretty hard in the big world to be you and to be a person and be able to be you Aboriginal and also be you and be part of a community and a family. That's what I think the place is to me. So that's how I got here.
Wow. Thanks for that. Thanks for that, Nathan. Really good. I can't believe you're 35 though. Looks about 20 years old.
Everybody says that when I shave even cheaper. Younger. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, our found Wayside Chapel. I'm not good in mathematics, but I'm 46 years of age. I come here when I was 14. I got bored of out west Sydney, where I found Cabramatta. I started coming out this way and met this place. I got food, I got clothes, talked to good people. They weren't like my family, like my parents, but they grew to be my family, my parents, because they had patience at the time to get to know me. And I felt comfortable, and I thought, wow, I wish my real parents understood me that way. And I love my parents, but Wayside is like more my home. And back in the day before the new buildings and all that come here, we used to have balconies, and we weren't allowed to sleep up there and live up there. But we used to climb up there in the middle of the night and sleep up there, and it was mad, and all the wind, and so nice. And then you hear the cars pull up and people coming in, you jump off quickly and you get a nice breakfast for the morning. You get what you need for your toiletries and get the day going again. And I thank all these people in this place, because if I didn't have them, I don't think I would be alive today, actually. Yeah.
We always suspected people snuck up and slept on the balconies back in the day. Oh dear. Hey, because you've been coming here for so long, how's the cross changed over the last, say, 10 years? I mean, you could say the last 30.
Respect. I say to respect me. If I didn't show that respect and I was a person to do wrong ways and all that stuff, I would be a person just to let that off me. It's not worth me carrying it on the street knowledge and respect. Once upon a time, we didn't rip off each other and we didn't do wrong by each other. And life was so wonderful, like leaving your front door open and your windows open at night when you're going to sleep. No one's going to jump through the windows. And that was a while back, actually, that was. But unfortunately now, I did go away actually for 17 years, and I got married and I got two beautiful boys. Because I got a criminal compensation payout at the time, 1996, October 16th. And when I come back home here, I said, wow, this place changed. The drug simulation, drug simulation was only $8.50 for a shot of heroin, and you could have 4 people have that, and then you can have the spoon next day and go again. And then when I started working out people, ripping people off each other, and I go, wow, that should be a fight and get into it. Breaking legs, maybe go through the sharks for a couple of days or something, out in the oceans. But now, how you going, mate?
Yeah.
It's all right, sweet, no worries. And I went, what? So he just rip you off and all that, and you just like, no worries. And he's not going to pay you back, he's not going to, like. And I'm going, man, 17 years changed, man. And it got me so bloody depressed. And I said, we always used to look after each other. Family, street people. And we ripping each other off, man. What are we doing with ourselves, man? The world's hard as it is. Now I've got $50 at my house, I'll let you sleep over the night. I go, God, can I lose my $50 or outside? Oh shit, I must have. And my mate's got it in his pocket. And I go, and I'm thinking, man, do I lose it or not? And that's wrong playing that game to me head. If you're going to take it, say, Rob, I'm pitching you $50. You go, yeah? I'll come this week. And that's how I would work.
Yeah.
Because it's not fair on somebody playing with their minds. Thinking, here's my wallet, do I leave my wallet at home today? Do I leave it in my car? Or did Robert take it? I don't know, And that's wrong, you know, like that. You don't do that at all. And with me, why I don't do it, and you look at me on television, people, and you on the street out there, why I don't rip people off. I'm 49 years old, 46 years of age. I'm still alive.
Yeah.
I had 18 friends. They do houses over, they dead. They rip people off, they dead. Other people rip people off, where are they? They go to protection in jail. Well, I've got kids, I love my kids, and I won't go to protection and be a coward in my street knowledge way. And I wish I did have the other way of life, but my way of life, I can't go to that way. Have jobs and careers, get up in the morning, get a job, and no. I wish I could do all that, but it's not my lifetime. That's for my next life.
Thanks, Rob. Appreciate your honesty there and the sharing. Rob mentioned he mentioned the street family. I've heard you talk about the street family.
Yeah.
I think most of us wouldn't have any idea about what is a street family. Tell us about that, and tell us about the good parts about that, you know, and that we would have no idea about.
So for me, my street family is people that I was homeless with, and we sort of spent a lot of our time together. Like, we slept together, we ate together, we hung out together, you know, just like a family. And like, I mean, most people will go home, get into bed with their wife, husband, kiss their kids goodnight. Well, we're our own family. All good night, lay down, go to sleep.
Nathan, what do you like most about Wayside?
Oh, there's a lot of things. But I like that, for me, this place is safe, and that I'm in a lot of communities. Like, I go to church, but I believe in justice, advocacy for people, equality is one of my big things. And that I can meet my LGBT community friends and Indigenous people too, but we're accepted here to be who we are, the who we are. That's not the who you have to be or the who you have to portray yourself to be. You can be real. And when I'm on site, many a times it's either mob or my LGBTQ plus TISP, all of those, they're just titles, but at the end of the day, we can be the people we are, and then I can always talk to the people that come here that are a part of those communities that I share. And I respect greatly and deeply, and that for them, if they were to walk into a building like this, there's enough racism and discrimination. I've had that all my life, and so have they. But when we're here, we come, we can be together, we can share, we can meet in the chapel, we can eat lunch, we can have a joke about things that other people might not get. And for me, the world is changing daily and regularly, but even to be able to go into mob space and be accepted for the choices that I want to make in the community and who I want to be, and not be disrespected is like majorly hard in a world that's hard already. So I just love Wayside for being a safe place, a place that accepts Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people where they're at for what they are. And when I say that, I mean everybody's got a story that leads them to here or leads them to anywhere. And you know what, some of the choices in life, people write people off, they're drug addicts, but to say to that, I have a variety of different people that are in all of those categories. They're all accepted here, and I all give them the same respect as anyone that's employed or anyone that thinks status and quotes. I don't see that here. I see quality, justice, and all my values I see here at Wayside, and that's why I continue to be around those people. And people accept us where we're at, and I do the same to them. So Wayside does that. A lot of places are still yet to get that, and for me that's important. So, yeah.
Thanks, Nathan. Really appreciate that. Get this wisdom that's coming from these three is just so amazing. Feel free to jump in and type out some questions too. We'd love to be able to read them out and be able to ask them to any of these three fellas here, who are three people who are doing amazing work. Sorry, Karen. Robbo, how can you tell us about some of the ways the Wayside's helped you out?
The Wayside people, the workers, help me out where they believe in me, and they give me a chance and to get to know me and have patience and have time to listen to me, because how I explain things in life with my way of talking, it's very difficult and very hard. And when people hear me how I talk, they go, he must be lying because he's not talking properly and he's not putting the sentence together. So that means he's, well, you know, he must have drugs or something and he's talking shit. And Wayside workers like Una, Mon, and you know, all my caseworkers here, I've got them all. And they really help me because they listen to me. And they've got time, patience, and look. My mum hasn't even got patience for me, my own mother. And I love my mother. And they haven't got time to have patience for me because they don't know where I'm coming from. But these people in Wayside, they don't understand where I'm coming from because I'm talking from my heart. If I rip it out and pull it out and give it, and then I know I can put it back and I'll live still, I'll do it because that's what I'm doing when I talk. And I'm reaching out. And it's like when I explain something to somebody about my story or about something, as I go, I hope they believe me, but it's hard to believe because how I'm saying things. But Wayside Chapel just had to believe me. It's amazing. I had police officers come here and arrest me in the mornings after 17 years I've been away from here. And I had Una and John got paperwork from the 7:30 report on the internet and come out to the police officers that here. And the police officer said, oh, when did you land on our soil? When did you come back? I said, mate, I've been away for 17 years. I've been back 4 days. And you charged me for the same crime again. But guess what? I come here, I got a $380,000 payout once upon a time, and I spent it all, had a wife, had kids, and what I did then, I could have went back to West. I come here, and I had to find like a new family. And you know, and John and all them, they have believed in it. And when they come out and done it to the police and stand up for me for things, it was amazing. When the young youth around here, you know, done things bad to the back of the shops here, and the tempered murder. Right? I was coming under arrest for it. But at first I was a hero, because mine, Una, took me to the police station. I didn't talk to nobody, just read a statement saying, you know, I stopped the young youth, because we've got young youth here, on the side, and we fixed everything up. But unfortunately, I was supposed to be the main act, like got the young youth, and it's like war. But unfortunately, these people here, they believe me, and the sergeant got sacked from the place, and the next minute the detective come in and charged me for the crime.
Look, it must be so hard, Rob, when you come to a place like this and you're accepted for who you are, but then outside in the world you judge for who you were and who you used to be as well.
And if I wanted to use drugs and alcohol and not come in here with these premises and get no and all this stuff and show who I am, what Robert is, what I am, all that stuff would have been too hard to beat out there. Because I haven't got mummy and daddy out there no more. They're out that way. So I had Wayside mummy and daddy.
Well, Una and John are two of our angels there, so shout out to Una and John. I think Una's still at home isolating. Get well soon. Send our love to you and Pam out there. There's a question coming up before this. Well, Nathan, you mentioned also that you're on a few committees here about making plans for some things. What sorts of things have you got planned?
I'd love to share about that a bit more, So I'm also in a committee for CPG, which is through another in the community for Kirkton Road Clinic Health Centre, because again, that's another place where I share a lot of my time in community. I'm very community. That doesn't just necessarily mean Aboriginal community. So I used to feed the homeless a couple of times a week. I still advocate, and I spend a lot of my time with homeless and people in the community. That's why I like places like this. Here, we're just about to begin a committee that makes choices about Aboriginal mob space at Aboriginal Cultural Centre, as it's known for those that know it. But to us, it's mob space because that's what we call it. But yeah, that's an opportunity. Some of the opportunities that I've got to have, like being in the Kirkton Road Clinic Consumer Panel Group, meant that I could represent my people. When I say my people, again, the community is my people. My family is my family. I love and respect my family. I look after my 2 elderly family outside of here, mum and dad. I'm carer for both of them, not because I have to, but because I choose to. But community is what you make it, and for me, community is one of my values. To see community, meaning mob, community that are homeless, to be treated in a way in a society that's hard enough. So having those opportunities came about by putting myself in the community, and the respect that I get is from the community, and then I ended up in a panel there and I'm doing things here. But then you can just do that, but it's a privilege, and where you take that and what you use it for. I could abuse it and think I'm good, I'm going to get it everywhere, but no, the whole focus behind that, and then it leads to other opportunities is, and I also I'm studying cert for in mental health currently. Why do I want to do that? I always keep asking myself, and I have bad days, I think, well, I'm mental myself. Why am I doing this? But at the end of it all comes back to, I will come to Wayside, bang, a problem will break out, bang, they want Nathan. What's Nathan got? I've got nothing, I'm just me, I'm just Aboriginal, but again, they'll come and they'll talk to me. So I've helped people through some really things for me where I go, fuck, that's way above my education and my training. But they're in my face, they want me, I have to give myself to them. And a lot of that has been mental health problems and Indigenous and Aboriginal people coming to me because they trust me, because I accept them for LGBT. I accept them for what they're doing. I accept them, I don't care, and go, oh, you shouldn't be doing that, that's bad. Oh, you're drinking, but do it safely. So I'm very big for community and harm minimisation. The best you do what your life is, no one should tell you what to do, but you make the choice, do it safely and keep yourself responsible. But yeah, those opportunities probably wouldn't have come if I don't get myself in places like this. So.
Thanks, Dad. Have kept all of these answers, and you know what you said. You've got nothing to give, mate. You've got everything to give because you know who you are and you know where you stand, and you don't judge people.
I think it's a lot of life experience, and I have that.
Excellent. Now, Karen, I've got to ask you something. I watched season 1 of Orange is the New Black, right? When they first advertised it, their big sign was, would you be able to survive in jail? And I watched it for 5 minutes and realised I would not be able to. But we have a question from someone there. Well, Dean's second question is the kitchen still running? Yes, it is, Dean. The kitchen is still going. It's still going strong, actually. But then his other question is, can you tell me, how do you survive on the streets? You know, what can prepare you for that?
Nothing prepares you for that. Literally nothing. To survive on the streets, you have to be a very quick learner. You have to become aggressive very quickly, because if you're not aggressive, people are just going to walk all over you and, excuse the expression, but you end up being someone's bitch. You have to learn very, very quickly to survive on the streets.
I'll throw this out to anyone who wants to share his, since we're into our last 7 minutes here. What have we got here? We've got, what does community mean to you? Anyone can take that answer.
Love, acceptance, inclusion.
I think community means a group of people that you can be a part of, where you can truly be yourself.
Yes.
Accepted, non-judgmental. The staff here are definitely that. They're from all walks of life. There's diversity here, and that's community. And for me, it will always go back to being community. Second community, always first community is Aboriginal people. We're a community, and our community we open up to others because we love and want to share food and have a yarn and chat. That's all here. I cannot speak hardly more about that, but community is what you make it also. Community is if you choose the people you want to hang around with, or if you want to just say, I have one class of people I hang around, and that's my community. I say to people, make a community what you wish and what you vision the community to be, so be the change that you want to be. So if you want to learn about Aboriginal history, you learn about it, or you don't, it's your loss. So community, I really think, is when you find somewhere that you're safe and it's a space where you choose a group of people that are lucky enough to have you in their life, and that becomes your community.
Thanks. Robert?
Yeah, that's tricky, mate. That word, to me, well, I can't even say that word, but what it means to me is like being in Wayside, like a family, and be there and having time with each other there and for the day, not being bored, not going out using drugs, and that keeps me safe. I call it the safe house, Wayside travel, and I call it Teeny House, safe house.
Yeah.
Like Kevin Morley, I think, sorry, and Tim. They gave me volunteer work there. Got me off drugs for 2.5 years, and I call that my safe house as well. And I'm welcome there, and I'm welcome here, and I won't do anything wrong here. I won't do anything wrong there. And why is that? Because mate, they'll hurt me. Because I let myself down, or you down. And that's why I live for, you know, keep it safe. And I don't use much drugs as well.
So the question that we got here, we've got probably a minute each to have a go, is how have your experiences, you know, over the last few years and on the street shaped you as a person? How has it made you who you are?
I'm sure I don't read people off and have respect for people. Show them who I am and what I am, because if I do look in that bag and you're homeless and one person busts me doing that, I'm destroyed, I'm finished. Might as well sit up and go, I'm finished, man. And I can't say to you, oh, I don't do that sort of stuff, I don't do that sort of stuff, material. And they go, oh mate, what are you saying you mate? We got you. You know what I mean? I say, bro, don't tell anybody. I don't want to live like that. I'd rather just say, oh, look, I did alright. And you know, what was I sister? I said, you ain't by the way.
That's right.
And that's what I think, yeah.
Good.
And I always try to think before I act and before I do it.
Yeah.
Because it'll haunt me for the rest of my life.
Absolutely. Today was a very kind of strange, funny thing happened today. A new person downstairs left their phone, turned their back, the phone got swiped, and they were in tears. And you know, we went, excuse me. We had 3 people sitting in the cafe. Said, "Don't you worry, love. We'll get the phone back." 2 minutes later, the phone was back. There was a different way of getting things back there. It was we asked no questions, you know, lives. Nathan.
Yeah, I think again it comes back to community. So I spend a lot of time in the community and around the streets. But I think if you show respect and you get to know people's stories and you spend time with them, I've got street homeless community friends that I really like. People have warned me, why would you go near them? Why would you go near them? Because I just look at them as people. So being in the community and making those friends, they're just people. They didn't just choose to be there, they got them there somehow. And so that, I think the street people have a lot of more respect for me than some of my own family, as bad as that sounds. But yeah, the streets taught me a lot of things, how to be resourceful, whether that's good or bad, how people have your back in the street and you wouldn't even know it. Like, you see someone kicking off or someone's going to come at you, you know, would be surprised, random brother or sister pops out of the, what you fucking doing talking to them like that? And aunties and uncles have got your back, and I actually feel safer to be in the streets, even in this type of area, because I know the community that aren't the community that everyone thinks is the community they should hang around and be with. They've got my back. So community and the streets are safer than people think. I want people to, you know, actually maybe go and walk around and look for homeless people, maybe go and volunteer, maybe go and do something, and then it might open your mind like it has to me, that not everybody's out there because they chose to, or they don't deserve to be, or they're doing something wrong. So that's right. 2
awesome answers. Now I want to leave the last word to Karen, but I also want to leave it to you. If you want to say thank you, please put it up on Facebook, and we'll share the comments there, and we might read a few out as well, just to acknowledge and thank our panellists tonight. It's Karen. I'll let you have the last word, and you probably know me better than most people here, so you know you can let rip. Go for it.
Am I answering the last question?
You can do whatever you want, but answering the last question would be great.
Okay. When I first landed on the streets, I didn't realise how much of a snob I was. I looked at everybody else and I thought, oh, my clothes are better, I speak better, I'm more intelligent. I soon crashed down to earth and looked around at people one day and realised I'm no different to they are. Anybody can become homeless overnight. You'll go to bed tonight thinking that you're going to wake up in the morning and that your life's still going to be perfect. You never know if that's going to be the case, because I woke up one day, life wasn't perfect anymore, and it completely changed. So for me, the big wake-up call was realising that I'm no better than anybody else. We are all equal, we all have our own struggles, and it's really important to be kind to everybody that you meet, because you don't know what they're going through.
Beautiful. What a beautiful answer. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Nat. Thank you, Robert. This has been amazing. We really appreciate your wisdom and your openness in sharing about your experiences. Wow. Thanks, everyone, for logging in tonight. And I'll give them a big clap, but I hope you're clapping from home too. Thanks. Now, just quickly, this series is going to continue on. Are we still on there? We ran it last year during lockdowns through the pandemic. We've kind of moved to endemic, acknowledging that so many of you are at home in isolation again. But we hope to be able to run about half a dozen more. And I just want to say, and can you just turn that camera on? The whole time behind this has been Emily, who has been bringing us this series. She is the one who's been hiding behind the scenes. And Emily finishes up with us in a week's time. So we just want to thank you, Emily.
Taking Emily's place is
Anthony. Thanks, guys. Good night.
Thank you.
All right.